the injuries, everything that happened with this card, did you wonder if it was going to happen at any time?
Oh, I knew it was going to happen. That's, like I said before, this is what we do. The day it can't happen, we're in big trouble.
You were excited, man, even for you today. This was a big one.
I'm excited.
Why
I'm
so
serious.
pumped?
I've been waiting to come to Calgary for a long time. And like I said, the negativity about this card is from ticket scalpers. I mean, if you know anything about fights, not only these fights good fights, they mean something. These fights are very important. The two guys fighting in the main event are fighting for the title to see who fights Dominic Cruz for the undisputed champion. And then Bohn, this guy beats Yushin Okami, who is one of the best 185-pounders in the world for a long time now. And this is his lottery ticket. And Hector Lombard, 25 fights unbeaten. The guy has knockout power in both hands, keeps moving forward, and this is an important fight, the 185-pound division. I'm so pumped about the 185-pound division too. I mean, it's all I've been talking about for 4 days.
Is Lombard still in the driver's seat there, like you said, or was? I mean, I know you said you're going to tease this on Saturday. You'll answer Saturday, but is Lombard still the guy in the driver's seat, or did Weidman do enough to step up?
I mean, the whole landscape changes in one fight. It's not only beating Munoz, the way he beat Munoz. It was unbelievable. And people are already saying, "Oh, this is the guy to beat Anderson Silva. This is the guy to this." But we got a pretty good plan for some exciting fights and some interesting stuff in the 85-pound division. I've never been so excited about the division ever.
Have those talks involved Anderson at all? Have you gotten to that point yet? Have you spoken
not
with
yet?
him?
No, not yet. We got to see how things shake out a little bit, and we'll I'll give you guys. We'll see what happens on Saturday, and then I'll talk to you guys.
Why Calgary when there's so many places that want you? Why?
Why here? Well, it's been a long time coming, man. I mean, this is a great sports town, and anytime I can come to Canada, I know I say this, I sound like a broken record. I love coming here. I love this place, and this is my first time in Calgary. I'm a little pissed. I thought that the Stampede was this week. Yeah, I thought it was this week. I didn't know it was last week. I was lied to last time I was here. Tom Wright lied to me. But I was bummed out. I was all pumped up for that, and it was last week, so I missed it, but whatever. You asked me about John Jones.
John Jones in the mix at all?
No. No, not right now. These guys both have business. He's got Dan Henderson that he seriously needs to worry and focus on. And then Anderson's going to have to fight one of these top contenders, and they're both saying they won't fight each other right now and all that stuff. So
what do you think about that? The fact that they say they don't want to fight each other and there's too much to protect?
Said he wouldn't fight Chael Sonnen either. And then the other one said he wouldn't fight Rashad.
Dana, with this card, it's a good card and that, but at some point were you and Joe Silva going, are you kidding me?
Oh, yeah. I mean, not just on this card, for the whole year. I mean, it's just the injury level has been insane. It's just one of the things we got to deal with. When it first started happening, we went on a streak for, what, I don't know, 9 years when that didn't happen, right? And then all of a sudden, when it used to happen, it was devastating. I mean, we were devastated, but now it's just part of the deal. We're used to it.
Just the way guys are training and just a straight up bad luck?
Well, what I think is that, back in the day, you'd have a gym where there was one guy who was the best in the world, and he was training with all these guys that weren't that good. These camps now, I mean, these camps are filled with the pound-for-pound best in the world, the top 10 best in the world, and when you're training with guys that are that good, people are going to get hurt.
For the people that are going to be going to their first live show, difference between live show and watching it in the bar?
It's night and day. First of all, if you've seen the UFC on television, it's good, it's fun to watch on TV. No comparison to watching it live. I think that we have the best live event in sports, and the contrast between what you see on television and what you see live, like I said, is night and day.
Dane, any update at all on Dominic? I know you said you're not sure when he would return, but have you had any discussion on how things went?
His progression's great. I mean, it's going well, but you never know with those type of injuries. Some guys heal faster than others, and it depends on that he's rehabbing, that he's with the right rehab people. The list goes on and on.
What can you say about all these Canadian fans and their knowledge of the sport?
Oh, Canada has been a mecca for mixed martial arts for a long time. I love coming up here. This country, I say again, I always sound like I'm kissing ass up here, but I love this place. I love Canada. And finally, I'm up here when the weather's good, too. You guys have some of the coolest cities in the world, nicest hotels, restaurants, shopping. I mean, it's a great, great country. I love coming up here.
Speaking of Canada, you at the last press conference, you kind of took a little shot at Vancouver that real MMA fans don't riot. Are you guys looking to come back to Vancouver?
Yeah, I wasn't taking a shot at Vancouver. I was saying, when we go up there, we have to buy all this extra insurance and all this crazy shit. A hockey game happens and they burn the city down. Nothing bad happens. when there's a UFC event in town. But they still stick that stigma on us,
So is Vancouver something you want to do next year?
Yeah,
Because they got a provincial
of
body.
course we want to go back to Vancouver. We would love to, yeah. But it looks like we're going to be hitting Seattle a few times before we go back to Vancouver.
You mentioned the 148 pay-per-views. A lot. The number that was kind of floated out there was 1 million. I know obviously you guys don't release accurate.
I wanted 1 million. I was looking for. I honestly and truly believed we were going to do 1.3 million.
Fell short
it's
of
the
that.
first time I've ever been disappointed with an awesome number. So
How short were you?
I really thought we were going to do it. I really believed it. And everything trending that night when I talked to you guys, it was all trending to do that.
Was 1 million the right number? I mean, is that about where it was? Or?
It didn't suck. We had a great number.
What happened to the fight card in Indianapolis? Why did you guys move that off?
Because we just had to change the date. We had to move the date, and then the venue wasn't available for the date we needed to move. We moved it to October, and the venue wasn't available again. So it sucked. I wanted to go to Indy, but the venue wasn't available.
What was the reason for the move? Was it TV?
We just had to do it. Yeah, we had to move the date.
Dana, you mentioned Seattle. What's your target for there?
This year. I know we're going to Seattle this year. I can't remember the date.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Dana, you talked about...
She's been waiting for a minute.
Of course. How do you explain the success of Taekwondo in MMA? Is it a good investment for UFC?
The success of Czech Congo?
Yes.
He's a huge monster, and he hits hard.
And is it a good investment for you to have this champion in your team, in UFC team?
Sure, of course it is. He's been with the UFC for a long time. He's an exciting fighter. Yeah.
So it's a good investment.
It's a good thing. It's a great thing.
And how do you explain that it's not yet in France, we are French TV, and it's not yet in France? How do you explain that?
How do I explain that?
That we don't have MMA in France.
Oh, in France, yeah. Well, as we continue to grow around the world, there's some places that are harder than others, and France has been a tough place to get into, but we're working hard on it. We've been working there for a while, and we're very close. And we're on television there. We pull killer ratings. There's tons of fans, so it's a matter of when. We will get it done.
And why is it so hard in France?
What is what?
Why is it so hard to get in France?
Well, it's not that it's so hard, but some places are harder than others. We're still not in New York here either, in the United States. Took us a while for Toronto. We're still having problems over in Vancouver. It's just, sometimes it happens. It's part of the deal.
But MMA has so much fans. How do you explain the success of this sport here?
How do I explain what?
That you have so much fans.
How many fans? Because it's the most exciting sport in the world, with the greatest athletes in the world.
So you think that if you came to France, you would have so many French fans also?
Everywhere we go, when we put on a live event, it explodes there. And not only in more fans, but more people training, more athletes getting involved in mixed martial arts. Once we put on an event in France, there will be an explosion for MMA there.
Dana, sorry, one more thing about Seattle. Pay-per-view or fight night?
I don't know.
Don't know?
I don't know, no. I'm sorry, babe.
Oh, no worries. My question, kind of following up on that, you're talking a lot about India and going there. How come we haven't yet seen an Indian fighter then in the UFC? Are there people that you're scouting that you want to kind of warm us up with?
There are people that we're scouting, and very few Chinese that you've seen too.
Right.
But what we're doing is, in growing the sport, is we're going in and cultivating these markets, introducing them to mixed martial arts, and it was the same thing we did in the UK. When I first went to the UK in 2002, there were a couple guys. That was it. And now look at the UK. We're going out and we're cultivating these markets.
And certainly I would think that the lighter weight classes afford you that possibility of getting...
That's why I said we would bring in, if anything, we'd bring in a lighter weight class. Because as you go into India, you go into China, all throughout Asia, and even Mexico, you're going to find, in Latin America, you're going to find smaller guys.
Is there any
And
time
have
table?
you secured Kung Lee for the card in Macau?
It's funny you say that, because I was talking to Joe yesterday, and he's like, Kung Lee. I said, let Kung Lee heal a few more days, and we'll call him on Monday. Because he doesn't have anything broken or any real severe damage. What he has is bone bruising, which the doctor actually put a cast on his leg, like one of those walking casts. Yeah. So I'm very confident that Kung Lee is going to be in China.
What do you like from him there? Do you like? A lot of people are saying maybe rebook the Franklin fight. Or what do you like? Do you have any interest in that?
If he fights in China, he will fight Rich Franklin.
Nice.
What do you have to say, Dana, moving over to Strikeforce here? Because there's been some things said by Meltzer, and a lot of people are wondering why the UFC hasn't been, promoting Strikeforce.
So I might have got some misinformation on it. People are always texting me going, "Is this true? Is that true?" what I understood that Meltzer said